Hey guys, what's up? It's Casey, the Rockstarflipper. It is Friday night, TGIF, and I know this video is going up a little bit late. I apologize. We had a lot of stuff to do today, so I just got time to sit down and edit this and get it up for everybody. But a lot of people have been commenting and asking about you know, the small items, the $10, the $15, the $5, and a lot of people want to buy and sell higher dollar, higher profit items. They want to increase profit margins. They want to decrease the time spent listing. You know, they'd rather hit those home runs all the time, which aren't always available. Sometimes they're kind of hard to find, these high dollar items, but if you make a list of all of these and you have the capital to invest, then you know, it might be worth it. And a majority of these items will sell very, very quickly, so you shouldn't have to sit on them too long. Now, a lot of these are going to be eBay only because a lot of you are going to be restricted on Amazon. There's only one or two that I know of that I can't sell on Amazon, but many of you that just took the leap into Amazon are going to be restricted on some of these. So if you have to go the eBay route, that's fine. They're perfectly okay to sell on eBay. If you have the capital and you have the time to sit on them, to list them on Amazon, then majority of these will sell better on Amazon. And I'll comment on those as I go through these. We're gonna go through the top 10 items, top 10 high profit items that you can resell on eBay or Amazon if you choose. So let's jump into number one and we'll get started there. All right, starting at number one, it's gonna be the item that is probably the most risk on this list, and it's cell phones, smartphones, particularly, specifically iPhones and Android smartphones like the Samsungs and the HTCs and all of those sort of things. They can be high profit margins. For example, you may be able to pick up an iPhone 6 because everybody's now got 7 Pluses for cheap. You might be able to buy it for $100 or $125 and flip it on eBay for, you know, $199 or $219. You know, a high $50 profit margin, $75 profit margin, which is what we're kind of targeting on high dollar items, that 50 to 75 plus, you know, profit. The problem with cell phones, there's a lot of risk. Cell phones are the #1 stolen item for obvious reasons in the entire country. So you have to be very, very careful about buying stolen merchandise. And it's more difficult to check for stolen phones than someone might think. You certainly can call the provider, and most times if it's stolen, it will come up stolen, but sometimes not. What if somebody stole a phone and the victim doesn't even know it yet? Maybe it was in their gym locker or it's stolen out of their bag and they haven't reported it stolen. That guy calls you, hits you up on Craigslist because you put an ad out that says, I want to buy phones. He hits you up 10 minutes later. He's already got your number before he commits the crime. So he's ready to go and he hits you up, you call it in, there's no report of a stolen phone, you buy it, you sell it to somebody a couple days later and oh, it's reported stolen. So that's just one of many risk factors. There's bad ESNs, somebody not paying their bill on a phone, the phone will be shut down, it'll be blacklisted. There's many things I could go over. I'm not gonna get into the specifics. If you're gonna venture into cell phones, please educate yourself. I can't educate you, you have to educate yourself. I put the time in with phones. I've lost a ton of money on phones. I've made a ton of money on phones. Just be very careful if you go that route. So that's #1, smartphones and cell phones. Number 2, the same theory, iPads and tablets. They're just oversized cell phones. Problem with iPads and iPod touches and tablets that are attached to services like AT&T or T-Mobile, they can have bad ESNs as well. Now, the tablets are all Wi-Fi enabled, so you could use them as simple Wi-Fi tablets, but you'd have to let the customer know that they're no good for Verizon or AT&T or whatever service they're for if they have a bad ESN. But we want to stay away from buying those type of things, if at all possible, altogether. Again, probably a $50 to $75 profit item, if you're buying it correctly. Also, majority of these items can be bought and sold broken, so keep that in mind with cell phones and tablets and all sorts of items. Moving on to number 3 is laptop computers. Again, another highly stolen item, MacBooks, Androids. Be very careful buying these, check serial numbers, call them into pawn shops, call them into the police. Just be very careful. Use your gut. Typically when you're meeting somebody or you're buying an item, there's a pretty good chance that you're gonna be able to tell if it's their device. If they don't have the password for it and it's password locked, you can reset these items, but if they don't have the password, it's a pretty good chance they stole it. That's why I like to shop at pawn shops, because pawn shops, at least in our state, and I think it's everywhere, are required by law to upload the serial number to the police department, and if the item comes back reported stolen, then the police come and get the item. So almost, I know it's a myth that people think pawn shops buy a ton of stolen merchandise. They really don't. They do get their share of stolen merchandise, but it's not as often as you think. And between their own vetting and the police department checking up on serial numbers, almost every piece of merchandise that's out for sale in a pawn shop has been cleared, and it's almost 0% chance that there's gonna be a piece of stolen merchandise that you buy from a pawn shop. I have bought thousands and thousands of items from a pawn shop. Never have I purchased a stolen piece of merchandise, or have they ever called me to ask if I had a certain item still in inventory. So never happened to me, never, never. Number 4 is iPods and MP3s. We just touched on that a little bit, but like the iPod touches that I buy, you guys see me buy them all the time. Why do I stick to those and not phones? Well, they're not tied to a service provider. So there's no chance of fraud on a service, a wireless service. There's no chance of an unpaid bill. They're just Wi-Fi. Now they could still be stolen, which is why we have to check those serial numbers. There's also a couple websites that claim to check serial numbers. Guys, they're wrong 50% of the time. Don't believe these Swappa and Check ESN Free websites. They just aren't reliable. I have taken a device that had a known bad serial number, typed it into one of these websites, and it came back saying it was good. So be very careful if somebody recommends you use one of those websites. Are they accurate sometimes? Sure. Are they accurate all the time? No. And I risk my business for nothing, especially when it could come down to a piece of stolen merchandise. And if it's not 100% accurate, I'm not going to take the risk, ever, period. Let's keep going, guys. Number 5 is car parts. Used car parts are very expensive. A friend of mine has a BMW, older BMW, out of warranty. Had to, I say older, it's like a 2006 or 2007. Just, it's out of warranty. He needed a part. The dealership wanted $500 for the part. The local, I think AutoZone or Advanced Auto wanted like $425. He found it on eBay for $299. Bought it immediately. And who knows, the person that bought it or sold it to him for $299, it's possible that he could have purchased that for $200 to flip for $299, $100 profit, less fees and shipping. He probably made $60, $70. So another good high profit item. Target those higher end vehicles, Audis and BMWs and Mercedes. If you can get parts cheap, look them up, compare the prices, just like you would anything else. Used car parts sell super good. Number 6, digital and SLR cameras. Webcams also can be good, but digital and SLR cameras are very expensive. Nikons, Canons, D70s, D700s, the Canon G7X that I use to record videos. That I purchased for nearly $500 used. I find these types of point and shoots in pawn shops for $300 all the time. That's a $200 profit, less fees and shipping, 150 bucks. So you can make a lot of money on these higher end cameras. And the lenses. The lenses are very expensive. Most times the lenses are more expensive than the camera itself. So keep an eye for that stuff. If you go in a pawn shop, if you're on Craigslist or Facebook groups and somebody puts an item out for sale, it's a lens or a camera, you know, look it up, check the comparable models and see what you can get for it. They sell really, really good on Amazon if you're willing to put them on Amazon and wait for it. Number 7 is watches. You guys heard me in the last video. I sell like Burberry watches, Movado, Belova, Citizen, Tag. I try to trend to stay away from Rolex, from Breitlings, you know, from those north, you know, $1,500 and $2,000 and up, you know, up to $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $10,000 watches. That's just too much capital, too much risk, too many fakes. Usually when you're selling a $300 Belova or $500 you know, Movado or something like that, there's typically less fakes. Movado is faked a lot. Movado's is iffy, but like Belova, nobody fakes Belova watches, almost never. You can pick up a watch that was originally $800 or $900 retail. It'll sell used for $400 or $350. You can pick it up in a pawn shop for 100, 150 bucks. Or maybe somebody on Facebook group is selling their old Movado or their old Belova for $100, $150, and it's real. They got the box, they got the papers. You buy it, you flip it, you make 100 bucks. So watches are something to keep an eye out for. Burberry's a good one. Michelle is good. Guess is good. All those types of watches. Moving on, number 8 is GoPro cameras and accessories. Hot market, hot item. Millions of people have GoPros, all different models. Even the older ones still sell. I've bought GoPro ones for like 25 bucks and sold it for 59, 69. So, you know, that's an item if you're buying at a good margin. You can look forward to making 40, 50 bucks on a GoPro. The accessories, not so much, but if you can get the accessories and bundle them with the camera, it's just gonna push your profit up that much more. So keep an eye out for anything GoPro. Number 9, surround sounds, headphones, high end. We're talking Bose, We're talking Turtle Beach. We're talking the Alpha, the A5s, the A50s. We're talking, if you can, basically like anyone with a name brand except Beats. Beats is too faked. I would stay away from it unless you know your stuff, unless you know what you're getting into. Beats is highly reported as fake on eBay, and it's not worth risking your account for Beats. You can make a lot of money on them if you can get real ones, but be very, very careful. I don't see Turtle Beach, I don't see razors, I don't see you know, bows. I don't see that kind of stuff faked quite as much as Beats. Beats is so bad on the fake side. So just be very careful for that. And number 10, one of my favorites, you guys know what it is, vintage video games. Regular video games, we can make $5 on, we can make $10 on. If we get a good score, we can make 15 or 20 on a video game. We can buy a Pokemon game for $5 or $10 and sell it for 25. We can do okay. But if you can get a vintage video game, for example, I bought that Super Smash Brothers for original Nintendo 64, and I paid $10 for it, it sold for 50. I bought a Legend of Zelda for N64. Same thing. Super Nintendo, the Mario games. Some of those games are 40, 50. I bought Mario Party, a collection of Mario Party games for GameCube. Mario Party 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think, or 4, 5, 6, 7. I paid $20 for the set of 4. They ended up selling for like $130 for the full set. So big profits. So keep an eye out for those vintage video games the best that you can. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for hanging out on a Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Be safe. Have fun this weekend. Put down in the comment section below any great high dollar items that you guys buy and sell regularly, or that you've come across, or that you recommend for the viewers. Because listen, you guys, a lot of you go down in the comment section and you read what other people have to say. And if you have a great idea, we'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Everybody else would love to hear it. And feel free to share it down in the Facebook group as well if you want. The Facebook group is linked down below if you want to join that. All of my social media, if you want to contact me, is down there. I'm going to sit in bed and respond to a ton of messages, emails, comments, everything right now. I'm going to tear through a couple hundred, I hope. So if you've been waiting on an answer, you might get it tonight. I try to get through as many as I can, guys. Please believe me that I'm getting 300, 400 a day. So if I don't get to you, I'm sorry. I apologize. You can feel free to send it again. And I'm getting through them as quickly as I can, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful evening. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you're still subscribed and your notifications are turned on, because YouTube has been turning them off on everybody. And I'll see you again tomorrow on Saturday. Bye, guys.